Hi, my name is Sagal Abdulle. I'm an education officer at IGAD. I work at the Secretariat based in Djibouti. I support IGAD's Health and Social Development Division in the areas of inclusive education. I've always been very curious. I've always been a student of history, and I've always wanted to understand why things were the way they were, and how to connect dots that might not seem like they need to converge, but they do. And years on, we know that this is called intersectionality. My background is in supporting inclusive education policy, higher education, and STEM agendas in sub-Saharan Africa. And I've worked also to improve the participation of women in these areas, specifically in STEM. I realized that education is really at the center of lasting change and can serve as a key tool to dismantling systems of oppression. It also is one of the most useful ways of transforming entire societies. Some of the most successful societies or communities have been those that invested in educating their population to respond both to their human capital needs, but also to the liberation of one's own mind. It's always a good investment. Being a child of immigrant parents, you're taught the value of hard work and using education as a tool for social mobility. And I had the privilege of going to really good schools, having excellent opportunities, having a very open-minded family who was open to my curious ways and my desire to see the world and learn. And so I've moved frequently for work, leaving behind my family and most of my friends. This is challenging at times, but to be honest, you find community wherever you need. And so also with technology, the gap is much smaller now than it was, I would say, 10 or even 15 years ago. And so I guess this is my sacrifice, but a very small one. It pales in comparison, really, if you think about what we're up against. As a woman in this field, I've learned the importance of resilience and solidarity. Facing gender biases and unequal opportunities has also taught me the value of perseverance and the strength found in community. I've often leveraged my identity as a woman to connect with and support other women. This has been crucial, from creating networks of mutual empowerment to drive systemic change and foster environments where women can actually thrive. There are workplaces exist within societies, and there are very few societies globally that have reached gender parity, let alone equality in workplaces. Women in this field, specifically in education, science, technology, and innovation, can be seen as the teachers or maybe even the supporters, even the principals. But who's developing those policies? Who is governing? Who's making the decisions? And this is what we need to interrogate. Well, my mother, who is the most intelligent, the bravest, the funniest, most creative human being, amongst many other things that I've had the privilege of knowing and loving. A very close second, though, is Bell Hooks. Bell Hooks is and has been my greatest source of inspiration in this field. Her concepts of teaching as a practice for freedom profoundly shaped my understanding of education's role in social change. Education shifts power. Bell Hooks emphasizes transgressive teaching and moving beyond the boundaries. And for me, what this translated to was capacity building, right? We support people to cultivate the tools within themselves to enact the changes that they want to see, and also to have actual technical skills to not only build a livelihood which is self-sustaining and self-reliant, but also contributes to the betterment of our world at the community level, society level, global level. Her work affirmed the importance of centering marginalized voices and using education to challenge and dismantle systems of oppression. This aligns perfectly with my own beliefs and efforts. I think one of the biggest challenges for the next generation of women in Africa is overcoming systemic barriers to education and economic opportunities. Yet this is also a profound opportunity. As education shifts power, young women can drive transformative change in their communities. By advocating for gender equality and inclusive education, we can create environments where women lead across sectors. With Africa's workforce set to become the largest in the world by 2050, empowering women through education can harness this demographic boom for immense societal impact. It no longer is economically viable to leave out an entire population in our societies. Your voice and experiences are powerful tools for change. Your work is not just about imparting knowledge, it's about creating spaces where others can challenge the status quo and drive meaningful change. Remember, the synergies between academia, industry, government, and communities can achieve remarkable things. Stay resilient and inspired, knowing that your efforts contribute to a broader movement towards justice and equity.